So I think also on localization, that's like another thing that I've seen some developers who don't think about it. And you saw like you remember when you opened the app, we expected that maybe we'd find the app building in Italian.
Yeah.
That's a language expected by default.
Exactly.
But I don't know how they're able to pick out my location anyway.
I
That's
think use for
interesting.
English, with English is probably the default, which is also interesting. So a lot of developers use the default, so just the strings without anything, right? A file in their language. I think like always make it like something like English that is like globally understood, and have your country even as a specific case for work. And like Italy is surrounded by Switzerland, which has German speaking, French speaking, right? Like Italian speaking. So that's why they added all of their surrounding languages. Like, and this is actually pretty cool because people cross the border, right?
Yeah.
And have English as a fallback, which I think always makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe. So the UI looks good. I think like we could discuss about the packaging, but the files itself look all small. There seems to be follow the same pattern. I have the feeling I can easily find my way around here.
Exactly.
But I haven't seen like, do they use the database? There wasn't any room database, right? Like all the apps that we looked at, like a database. What interesting that they don't have anything.
I think they do have.
They should have, right?
I think.
Because
Let
they're
me
all
just say I think.
collecting data all
And
the
I
time.
would say, let me do a quick guess where we can find it.
Yeah, it's really fun. That's a good question.
I would say I would start looking here, which is not there, obviously. The utils. I would come back to extensions.
Storage. There was an excellent. What is KB storage? Okay, but there's an extension for KB storage. We can maybe where it's used. Key value. Oh, okay, they have key value storage. Okay, so where do they use this? Maybe this is the tip. Like, okay, they're using key value storage, and maybe which is weird because shared purpose is also key values, right? With like encryption. Oh, well, this looks an interesting class. So it knows about if something is Moshi data. So maybe you can write JSON directly there. Maybe you can find, I mean, without understanding this class, let's see where this is used. Can you figure out who's using this KV storage? No, I'm really curious.
Okay, so
Search for KV storage, maybe the project, or like who's calling this?
if I do KV storage, that was a shortcut I was trying to look for earlier. I think I was playing around with that. Oh god, no. Okay, can't find it. Okay, so let me just.
Right. Tip for like in Android Studio, when you don't know a shortcut, Command Shift A opens a dialog and you can look for any shortcut you want. At least I know, like I don't know what is your Windows, right? But Command Shift A, it's on Mac.
I think this. Let me just check this one. Sorry. I want to check in the whole file. It's just here, Funded Studio. Oh god. Okay, fine. Occurrences, yes. So it found one occurrence here.
Okay, this itself. I think when you look project wide, I think it looks like they're using this in the repositories, which is probably what we look for. Abraham. Just quick search on your site. Let's go to the app, back to the app. And okay, I would never guess that. So when you go to the app package, they have a logic one. In the logic package, they have their storage. Okay. Probably mean like the business logic. Look at there, and then there's like logic, and then, for example, let's see, exposure, like for example, has like a repository. Ah, they're like models and repositories. Okay. Which is also cool. I like this. Like it comes from clean architecture, right? That you have this repository class, and very often we saw like a room database behind it, but you don't have to. Like behind your repository can be anything, right? You're using a repository to they do things, and you have no idea if you're getting something from room or from the network or from a key value storage. It's interesting implementation actually.
I have a problem with the way where they've put it. So again, if I need to look at this app again, it's like, why are they hiding? It's like it looks like it's something that's hidden. Why not have it? I mean, you've come already and put
Yeah.
everything to do with your
Yeah,
repositories.
yeah,
Okay, but
exactly.
maybe these are the repositories.
Why is this not in the settings, right? Why is this hidden in like one tiny thing? Like,
Yeah. Why not have everything that's going to handle storage
yeah,
or everything that's going to handle repositories just exist within repositories, and then you can have sub of like exposure. Maybe this is another one for notifications, this is another one for settings. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about,
yeah, no, it's
especially for this one.
as they
So
put everything in UI and it wouldn't belong to UI, that's why they added the logic. But yeah, like everything is super hidden like this way. And it's like hard to find. Like if you would then now modularize the exposure module, you cannot because everything is spread all over the project, right? Yeah.
exactly. So that's my pet peeve, I guess, for this
Also,
part.
an interesting small detail I see here, like in say line 71, I see like system time. Look at this. Date time diff. So you take the time and then they divide it by 1000, so make it seconds, to int. So, and I'm pretty sure if we would search this project, we have this line multiple times. Why is this not having a method or helper that tells me, give me the time in seconds, or give me the system time for the API, right? Like, why do we have to read date time diff 1000 to int? It's like, there's too many details here, and yeah, it's probably something that you do more than once. Just like small, it's these small things I don't like sometimes, like that I see, like, come on, make it like, at least tell it like, I mean, I understand, like, okay, I get it, like time is milliseconds, so by 1000 is like seconds, but just call it. Give me time in seconds. It's like, it's not that hard expecting a method. Like Android Studio does it for you. Let your code speak. And because like this was the first thing I saw, and this method is about the API call, probably an app of uploading something. I don't know what the text is, upload text. Maybe text is some Italian thing, or an abbreviation, I don't know. But I was looking at the 1000. So, and by putting my focus on details that don't belong here, I was like missing the actual context, right?
okay, sorry. This I was trying to find out what
Yeah,
this
what's the
is.
text? Like, maybe I would have pulled it in the documentation, but it seems to be a thing. Maybe if you watch this and you figure out what tags are in this app, TEKS,
Yeah.
drop us a comment.
Yes, true. Yeah, they should actually tell us what it is.
Like probably if I would have to work on this app, I would like wondering and then I call someone, hey, what is a tag? And then he probably would understand like the American TAG, like what do you mean? Like what is a tag? Like no, TEKS.
And I think that's what I would probably do if I was doing like a. So sometimes I get like source code just to like read through code and understand what's happening where. So I'd go into this very long process of first of all trying to explain or like just document it so that I understand what's happening where. And then my next phase would be, okay, let me try and restructure this according to what works for me. And I'm gonna do this at the end of all our sessions. I'm going to try and take from the first app that you've worked on till the last app. And then you're gonna go through and then you're gonna tell me like whether they made a mistake or not. That's gonna be interesting.
Also,
So
one thing I
we
see here,
have
probably is from the API, but look at this. There's there's two calls. There's the upload and there's a dummy upload, and the difference in there's no authorization for the dummy one. It's just dummy, and then there is dummy data equals 0 and is dummy data equals 1. Come on, can you use a type for this at least, like a Boolean? I mean, it's probably the API developers who develop this, but like we should be like, is dummy data 0, 1? So it's like really like weird to me.
Cool.
Why
So
is
that's the
is dummy data equals 3? I'm now actually wondering,
yeah.
we'll try this, like.
No, wait, it's not there. It's not there. They're just using a 0 and 1, 0 and 1.
Yeah, see, there's always, I mean, it's probably false, like 0 means false, but yeah. It's like one of these things, like I learned is like in the past, like something like a Boolean was often put in like an integer. And then sometimes 0 was false and 1 was true. But for some platforms, I don't know, int max would be false or something like. And you put like a business logic into a number, but all you want is like two things here, right? True and false.
Yeah, that's true. True. Dummy data. Okay, cool. So that's
okay.
Where
So,
was I jumping to? Okay, so we've done. We were still searching for that the room database.
Okay, we saw like everything sits in logic, like as a repository there, and then everything sits like in this key value storage, which I probably write to file also. Which actually, I always like.
So maybe you can try file.
So I always ask,
so
like,
you're saying something.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to say that, a lot of developers, the first thing they add like a room database. And then I asked them, like, why? Like, a lot of apps I worked on, I removed the database because everybody wants to do offline first or something, but they don't really think it through. And they always think, oh, I need a database. And I normally say, like, let's start with shared preferences. If that's not enough, maybe write to a file, or maybe you can dump a JSON. Like, they use a key value file, which, like, why not? Like, and if you then realize you need actually relational data, right, with like complex queries, or you have a lot of data, then you can decide, okay, NoSQL, this is like a NoSQL approach here, probably, right, or SQL. But this like make it very late in the project, and I would say like for something like the exposure notification, like databases make sense because it's a lot of data, right, that you're tracking. So you definitely need some kind of storage. So maybe this is not the best choice, but I like that someone tries something different here, and like really use what works for you, right? And don't have, oh, I need a database. No, actually, maybe you don't. Because a database, you need like models and update versions, all of this. And key value, for example, is so much easier.
Yeah.
The performance is different, but it really depends on the use case, right?
There's that fascination with saying my app uses a database, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why maybe guys are up for like it's a whole debate on like when someone says think offline fast, what does that mean? Yeah. And so I think for most people when they say think offline fast, they think, hey, let's just build a room database over there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see again when you start talking about offline and thinking about most of the people who are actually going to use your app with that offline fast mentality, so many other factors also start to play into consideration. I mean, like performance stuff and all those things. So
yeah, I've seen like so many.
It's a whole debate. Like I'm really passionate about it.
Where you would open the app and you was, I don't know, like a news app. Let's not say any names, but you open a news app and you see the last news from like 3 weeks ago because it's offline first. First, you cannot click on those because they don't have connectivity. And then, if I have connectivity, I see the old news. 3 seconds later, everything is refreshed and I see the new news. Like, this offline did not help me at all. It just confused me, actually. Every time I see the thing from last time, and then it refreshes before I have the chance to do anything with it. So, yeah, might be a lot of use cases for offline, but maybe see if you actually need it.